first day goes by, and then they come in, they say, okay, she's on life support, and they start going down the entire list. And guess what? We weren't able to close her. Her gut is wide open. And we can't do anything with her because she's so poisoned and she is so toxic and she is so inflamed. We can't touch her. We can't finish it. You sit there and you're like, what in the world? And so, okay. And then you have the believers, the sisters from the church.
Okay.
And the pastors calling, and the pastors call, and then they're like, okay, how is she doing? How is she doing? And you sit there and you're like, well, she is alive.
Faith.
She's alive.
Right.
But, and then you go back, and the thing is like what I've learned about for myself and from going through this with other people is faith people usually don't do good with sickness, death, dying, and disease, and stuff like that. They don't like talking about it. They're not comfortable. All of a sudden you get people responding weird, like, no, she's not dying. Right now her body is on the knife's edge. And they just go into, I don't want to say a delusion, but they kind of go into a denial and calling it faith. And I was like, okay, I was like, okay, God, I want to learn from this. I want to be victorious. I want to learn from the fight, and I want to build my fighting skills, my, whatever I need to get it, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it on this go, and we're going to do it right. And I'm not going to be stupid. And that's just how I was.
Right.
There was this realism that came out of it, and
so let me ask you, because this is a good point you bring up. From your experience now, how should Christians now respond?
Well, I'll tell you how I responded.
Okay, tell us.
Okay. So when they came in, and it was very, not to be gross or graphic, but basically they said, Aaron, we cannot even put your wife's organs back together because when we put our hands inside of her to start stitching her up and put her back together, her organs melt in our hands.
Okay. Falls apart.
It falls apart and they melt. And that's how tender, it's kind of like a tenderized piece of meat that's over tenderized. It just falls apart when you cook it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be graphic, but that's just, and you can be so inflamed on the inside that your insides just don't work. And they were like, your wife is, if we touch her, she falls apart. So we have to let her not only stabilize, but we have to let the inflammation go down. And if it doesn't, we can't close her. And that's a terminal. That's where we reach the end of our ability to. And so when the doctor, and every time they would go in, like either every day or every other day. And it ended up being where they did 9 surgeries. And each time they'd go in, and they would remove a little bit, clean her out.
Yeah.
And then they would make a determination amongst the surgical team, and they'd say, okay, can we do anything? Nope, we can't do anything. Okay, well, we'll let the family know. Now imagine having that every time where somebody says, okay, we're going to go into surgery and we're going to see what's going on. And then you're hoping. And then they come out, and then they say, oh, no.
Not today.
Not today. I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, I can't keep your wife's blood pressure up, and I can't get her breathing right, and I can't do this. Oh, and then on day 2 or 3, okay, well, your wife's kidneys have stopped functioning, and they're probably no longer good. She's going to be on the dialysis the rest of her life.
Actually, your body's just shutting down.
It was shutting down. And that's exactly what they said was her system is shutting down.
Every day.
Every day. It was just, and it was like, well, we're giving her medications, it's keeping her alive, but it's killing her.
So how did you deal with that in a spiritual sense?
You see the same, stick, the one thing that stuck in my heart was, don't flinch. And I was not, every time I was talking to somebody, I wasn't preaching at them. I wasn't saying, my wife shall surely live, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't doing that. I was just like, I am not backing off to you double. It was kind of like a personal, I was toe to toe with the enemy.
Yes.
And that's how I saw it was, I am toe to toe with the enemy. And I am not flinching. I am not backing down. My wife will live. And they said if she lives, she's going to be on IVs the rest of her life, meaning she's going to be hooked up and they're going to be tubes, and she might not all be there because we're not even sure if she's got brain damage because of the lack of blood pressure. And I mean, and so after a week, we're all numb. And there's so much that happens during the week.
Right. Every day you're going something new.
You're dealing with something, but then you have to go to work. I had to go to work. I wasn't off during this time. I had to go to work and make sure that because if like I'm self-employed, if I don't do something, then I lose my business. Or it's just there's so much going on with day-to-day life that still has to happen. And the church stepped up, and the church did amazing things with food and whatever. And they always were asking me, like, is there anything you want me to do? Come over and whatever. But there's just so much drama that happens during that time. And then you've got the personalities of, family and how they react during this episode. And it's layers of challenge.
Is your family really strong like you guys? Oh, it's good. So you had a whole bunch of support with family as well.
We had
strong personalities.
I mean, faith personality.
So
Aaron and I are definitely the pillars as far as faith goes. My mother was raised Baptist. And so, all these years, there's nothing wrong with the Baptists, but they don't believe in healing like the faith communities do. And
that must have been a real challenge for her.
Yes.
It was a big challenge, and and I don't want to go into it too much, but there were times when, and this is very true with faith, with the ability, and when I say the word faith, that can be very nebulous, but when it comes down to your ability to believe God in a situation, you have to get things settled on the inside.
Exactly. Yes.
And regardless of what you see around you, what you hear around you, what people are saying, or the dynamic that people have going on inside of them, because there's a dynamic that goes on in people and in the family, and everybody is going to react differently. And so during that time, there were challenges of me being in business or into my job, or how the family was reacting and how they react towards you, or how they react towards the evil report. And like Jesus in the New Testament, Jesus was faced with families' reactions, and in one case he kicked them all out of the house. And it was there was a death involved. And then he even went so far as to tell them what he thought of the matter, which outraged a lot of people. But I knew I had to get it settled on the inside of me. And the devil was I knew I was smart enough. He was going to throw every single thing at me that he could. So it wasn't just, the diagnoses. It wasn't just looking at my wife and all of the unbelievable tubes and the drips and the machines and the beeping. And then you have the crying family that they're on pins and needles, and the things that are going through their head are the things that want to go through my head. Two completely different.
Put them out. You have to put the unbelief out. And sometimes you have to separate yourself. Even though they're loved ones, you got to make that decision. Any unbelief can't come in.
And there was a time, after several days of this, there was a time the doctor walked in and he said, Aaron, and it took almost several days to get her to a point, but there was one critical time I remember, and he came in and he's like, we have done everything that we know how to do. And we're going in one more time. I don't know if it's going to be today. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to go in and we're going to see what we can do. He said, at that point, it's going to go one way or the other.
Now, was this, how many weeks into this?
This was like on day 8.
Oh, day 8.
And at day 8, they had gone in already 7 times or 8 times.
Wow. Okay.
And at that point, they said, I said, you know what? He said, what? I said, I think you should just be patient and wait and just let her body settle.
Right.
And then take a day, take 2. It's okay.
Yeah.
I said, do what you think is best, but I said, don't be in a rush. Be patient. So we sat there, and then the day came, and I just had this peace, but I talked to my son Gabriel, and I said, I think that she is going to shock. And it was, the word came to me was shock and awe.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And during the Trump administration, they did a warfare that was called shock and awe. Mm-hmm. And I got some other words from the Lord that had certain words to it, but I was like, she's going to be fine. They're gonna go in and they're gonna be like, oh, and they're gonna do their thing, and and I'm gonna get a word, and I don't care if it takes 10 hours. I just thank God that she's got the best team, and God's reserved the best and the brightest for her. And before they went in for that final surgery, he came into me, and she was still out, and he said, we're doing everything we can. And at that point, I knew my reaction was going to affect the outcome. And I said, it's okay. I said, you know why? And he said, why? And I said, you're going to do everything you know how to do. What you can't do, God will do. And he will make up the difference. And then it will be just fine. So you, as a surgeon, go in. You can just do your job without distraction. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about her. I said, God will make up the difference, and you'll be shocked at how it turns out. That's all I said.
How did he take that?
He was encouraged, but he understood that, number one, I think sometimes we as faith believers, and everybody expresses themselves different, so I'm just saying how I did it, but I sit there and I hear people say, like, you will, whatever. I mean, they'll, like, the hand of God is going to guide you. And I mean, they say stuff and okay, fine. That's not the way I am. And I was just like, God is going to be in there guiding you. He will make up the difference. It's going to be fine.
Right.
It's going to be fine. And that's really hard for some people to understand that.
But you had the fountain of living waters bubbling out of your belly.
He was with me the entire time, and I knew.
Yes.
And the picture that I had, so many pictures and running through me at the time, but the picture was, I'm on a roller coaster, and when you get on a roller coaster, you get locked in, and you're going for the ride until the ride is over.
Right. You paid for the ticket.
And whether you like the ride or whether you don't like the ride, whether you get on that roller coaster with a full stomach and a thick old greasy hamburger, you're committed no matter how you feel at the end of the ride. And I said, I told Gabe, I was like, we're going to own this. We're going to own the ride. We're going to come through it. She's going to come through it. And I can't quit. And that was the one thing, is I was sitting there and I was imagining all of the situations over the last 20 years. And we were the singles director in the church for quite a while. And we had people come and go. And you hear people say, oh, faith doesn't work, or this doesn't work. And then what they do is they give up. But the thing is if you really think about people giving up, they're not quitting life. They're quitting believing God.
Right.
You can't stop life until you die. And when you pass from this world, then you go on. So you really don't stop. But for in this life that we live right now, you can't quit life. You can quit faith. You can stop believing God. You can stop trusting him. You can never start trust him, but you can't quit life. And so what really, when people would ask me, well, how are you? You know, I'm fine. I'm believing. I was like, I think we're fine. They're like, okay, well, I'm on a roller coaster ride, and I was like, I may not enjoy the ride, but I was like, I'm not getting off. Yeah. And I'm going to go through it. My wife is going to go through it, and we're not going to quit. We're not going to stop believing God. And that's the thing is, you know, I mean, she's here now. Mm-hmm. She's in the hospital. She's on a breathing machine. I mean, how are you going to quit that? You can't just say, okay. Time out. There is no time out.
That's right.
There is no time out. And you can't stop. So you might as well, if you're going to be forced into a fight, the realization I had was I might as well believe God.
Right.
I might as well have his help. I might as well take his resources, because what I have isn't enough. What the doctors have isn't enough. Right. They didn't make her. Mm-hmm. They didn't wire her. They didn't design her. They didn't form her, and they didn't know her heartbeat before she was ever formed.
Right.
He did. Mm-hmm. And so on a practical standpoint, it makes every bit of sense. Just give it over to God.
And did you do that early on, or
absolutely?
Yeah.
You have to make it. You just make, you know, the term decide it, divide it, and move on.
Right.
You have to just simply, okay, is it God? Is it the devil? Is it the world? Is it this? Is it that? Just decide it. Okay. Identify it. What do you need to do something with it, or is this something that God just needs to handle? And then you say, okay, this is not mine here, and you hand it off.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And when you hand it off, get rid of it.
That's right.
Because if you hold on to it and you can't handle it, you weren't designed to handle it.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. So true.
You're incapable of handling it.
That's right.
It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And so I don't mean to be lazy or to put it off on, but I did. I put it off on God, and I was like, I can't do this. I know you have me here, and I can believe for it. Uh-huh. I can stand and stare death straight in the face and beat his face in if I have to.
Did you ever speak to death?
Yes.
You did? Okay,
I did.
Good. Because you have to speak to the mountain, right?
I told the devil, you are not in control.
Did you say that more than once?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes
I think I may have said some bad words too. Okay. But I was mad. I was mad. I was actually, there was a lot of times where I was, if you get frustrated because you don't want the evil reports, and you don't want to sit there and, I mean, you know, here's the thing. I mean, she's laying in bed, and then they peel the cover back, and literally you can see her organs. And
that would freak you out, wouldn't it?
And I'm just, you know, and you can either fold.
You're in another world. Yeah. Right there. You know?
And either what you've learned is the truth, or it is fantasy land.
Did you feel the Holy Spirit's strength?
Yes.
Well, you know, what you just talked about was a righteous anger. And many times people don't understand. You can only take so much, and then your anger, it isn't anger against anybody, but it is a righteous anger. How dare you, devil, touch my wife? How dare you come against my family? Well,
now here's the thing. I didn't react that way, because here's the thing. Is there was actually this, if we look back on this, I was really angry with the doctor. I was angry. I was angry with her specialist because I felt like he dropped the ball.
This is initially before you went to the hospital.
Correct.
Yes.
And she had been going back and going back and going back, and she had symptoms.
The specialist.
Right.
She had literally. I mean, the sounds that were coming out of her stomach, and what it was her stomach was groaning. It was dying, and the specialist was like, "You have Crohn's. Get out of my office."
Oh, wow. How frustrating.
And, well, I'm going to send you in for a blood test. and I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to go do that. And then he really didn't review the work. Well, how are you doing? And then right in the middle of how you were doing, blah, I mean, it was literally her stomach was like crying out for help, and I was so angry during that time. And then I had said that to my pastors, and the pastor's wife said, "Okay, I hear you, but you think about that too much, and you get too angry and you get too distracted. Your wife is dead."
Yeah.
And there was a lot of opportunities where I could have been so angry, or I could have been so offended that I could have let go.
Right.
And been distracted just for a moment, and she would have slipped.
Right.
She would have. And she would have gone to heaven. I mean,
yes.
But the results would have been different. And it's just because you get mad, because faith works by love.
Right. It does.
And when we're in the middle of a fight, the devil's not going to fight fair. He's going to hit below the belt. He's going to throw knives at you. It's not a boxing match. You're not going to have gloves. He's going to make you spit teeth. He might cut you up. He might make you bleed. And the only thing, God never promised you're not going to get hit. God never promised us you're not going to get tested. God never promised us the devil is going to fight fair.
He doesn't fight fair.
He's going to find out where your sensitive spots are, and he's going to hit every single one. If you have a bad relationship with your employer and you have to work during a fight, if you hate somebody, or if you if you're weak with relationships with somebody, he's going to work that relationship to the bone, and he might get it try to inflame it so that all of a sudden that relationship gets broken. And he's going to work and work and work until you have some kind of a final response. And that's one of the things that I had two people in my life I had actually one person in my life, I'll say, who lived with me, who was there the entire time and was able to be in agreement with me in my own private space, and that was my son.
Okay.
And he never said, "She's not going to be okay." Now, we understood that she was in a life or death fight, and she could have lost the fight, and we had a peace. We knew that she was going to, no matter what happened, she was going to be fine. So there was that reality, but he never, ever flinched. And he's just like, I believe mom's going to be fine. I believe she's going to come sailing through this. I believe that she is going to shock and awe all of the doctors, no matter what they say, no matter how dark this gets. And when you've got that for 10 days, it's so hard for people when, because most surgeries, you're in and out within 24 hours, and you're in recovery, and you're either going to live or you're dead.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And
well, this whole ordeal.
10 days of, and then, okay, well, your wife is going to be on dialysis the rest of her life. And then they gave her something that was called TPN, and it was basically a yellow fluid that metabolically fed her protein and salts and everything else, because she couldn't eat. She had no digestive system active to eat. And so they were literally giving her amino acids, her proteins, all of her vital everything through this juice that they mix up down in the lab, just to give her calories and the vital things that keep the rest of her. And then they said, well, the TPN is eventually going to kill her liver.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, you just sit there and you're like, really?
I shall eat.
And we're eaters.
Yeah.
She'll tell you.
I shall eat. I am not going to live on this bag.
Yeah.
No.
And Then they wheel in the machine that is bigger than 3 of us put together, and then the wheels start turning. It took them 12 hours to get her dialysis hooked up.
Oh my goodness.
The devil, when I tell you that every day the devil literally was throwing the entire hospital kitchen sink. He was picking, it was like, so if you imagine 2 spouses that hate each other like the War of Roses, and you've got dishes flying, knives flying, pillows flying, every pots and pans, the devil was throwing everything.
Yes.
My hand was purple.
Oh.
Literally, from one of the surgeries, my IV exploded.
It was this thick. You were there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I woke up and looked at my hand, and it was 3 inches thick of purple. Just blood. And I was like, what in the world?
You almost thought they were going to have to remove her hand.
Yes.
It was just so everything was graphic. Everything was so surreal, graphic. And you sit there, and that's congratulations, this is what you get to believe God with.
Wow.
The good news is she's going to live. The interesting news is, okay, this is what we have to work with. What are you going to do now?
She's not going to eat.
And
she's going to live on a bag.
And then you have other things that pop up that have to do with imperfect humans, and the practitioners, they make mistakes, which impact her recovery. And you're sitting there and you're just like, Jesus. And you want off this ride.
That's right.
I'm telling you, when you get into a fight like this, that's as ugly as this, and you want off. You just want everything to stop. And I was telling that to the people who were believing with me. I'm just like, I just want peace and quiet.
Wasn't at one point you discovered that she was off? They weren't giving her some medication for like 13 days?
Yes. So at the end when they brought her out, at first she was doing okay. And then all of a sudden she had this, and she was in the regular hospital for over a month. I'm going to say like 6 weeks. Okay. And at the week 3, when she was conscious, she started slipping. And nobody was talking about it. And the relatives, we were all kind of seeing this change, and it was gradual. But then after like the 2nd or the 3rd week, all of a sudden it was almost like brain damage.
Oh, really?
Or a stroke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She became nonverbal.
They tested everything.
She became nonverbal.
I remember, you said that,
And I'm like, okay. So one day I was in there, and she was just, you could get her to say yes, but it wasn't much more than that. And then I was getting frustrated because I'm like, what is wrong with you? I was just like, God, what is wrong? What is wrong with her? I'm like, are we dealing with a nonverbal now for the rest of our lives? I don't understand this.
Did you know that was going on?
Yeah.
And so how did you feel?
I did.
You couldn't communicate?
Every single day it seemed like Aaron, he had said there's an evil report. Every single day there was a new test.
Right.
We're taking you for this test. We're going to take you for this exam. Can you stand? Can you do this? Can you do that? And at one point, because they weren't giving me the correct medication, they missed one of my meds, which is the thyroid medication. And I knew I was just fuzzy, and I just thought it was a side effect from the medications they were giving me.
Okay.
And there was such an arm list of medications, plus all these drips.
Right.
They had IVs in both arms, and I just thought it was a side effect. But when it came down to it, I was missing my thyroid medicine. They weren't giving it to me.
Now, didn't you discover that yourself?
Well, so I don't remember exactly but I remember talking about it with her family.
So at this point, I think Mom had been conscious, and she was out of the room. Like you said, it was like 13 days at this point. No, 12 days. It was 12 days.
It was longer than that.
Well, it was 12 days since she's been out of the ICU.
Correct.
So 12 days after she left the ICU, the whole family was in the room, and we were basically sitting here like, okay, what is going on? And everybody, the nurses, the doctors, there must have been like, 8, 9, 10 people in that room, just all kind of bouncing ideas off of one another. And then Aunt Jeannie got on her phone. I don't know what her relationship is like with the Lord, but I do believe the Holy Spirit spoke through her. And she just went on her phone and she just kind of quietly said to herself, I wonder if it's thyroid.
Wow. That was a God moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I was able to catch it because I was sitting right next to her and then Dad was next to me. And I was like, I've seen Mom without her thyroid. That sounds about right. And I was like, hold on a second, guys. Jeannie just brought up thyroid. What's the status? What's the status on her thyroid medication? And then the nurses and Dad and everybody just kind of looked at each other and were like, good question. What's the status on the thyroid? And the nurses were like, what thyroid?
Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
And he goes, what do you mean, what thyroid? She's been here for 22 days. And they're like, well, it wasn't in the intake. And we go, yes, it was. And sure enough, they go through the intake and, well, here you go.
So when it was all said and done, at first the doctors didn't want to listen, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they were like, well, the thyroid isn't a big deal. Yeah, it kind of is a big deal. And the one thing is in medicine, it's called the master gland. Mm-hmm. And so the thyroid, it also affects your blood pressure. It affects your recovery, your tissue regeneration, and your metabolism. I mean, like on and on and on.
So
heart rate.
On and on.
It affects a lot of things. A lot of our hormones affect a lot of things. And so anyways, when I found out she had not received any thyroid since her admission, I forced the issue. I was not very nice about it. I will say that. I was not nice about it because nobody wanted to listen. And I had to actually call one of the chief surgeons of the hospital. He was so kind. He gave me his direct text line. And so I sent him this very long text, and it was like a Sunday morning. And I told him exactly what her symptoms were. And I said, I am finding out that nobody's listening to me. And I told him exactly the dosage, exactly the brand and everything. She's not getting what she needs to. And I was like, I'm tired of people not listening, and I need you to intervene, and I need you to make a phone call. So he did. And that morning, they got a drip going in her of thyroid, and within a few hours, she became more verbal.
Oh, wow.
And she came out of the cloud. But the thing is that this is indicative of just like when I say the devil threw every single possible thing that he could ever think of and imagine, he was throwing it, even including
blood clots.
Even including, like just something simple like, oh, we'll leave her thyroid out by accident.
Yes. Yeah.
And
not only that, but like one of the things, continuing on the thyroid subject, so they did get her on that drip, but after a little bit of her being on the drip, we came to find out it wasn't the correct. Are you on the synthetic or there's a synthetic and there's another one. So you're in the synthetic, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they put her on the other one at first.
Okay.
And
they didn't check the records to see exactly what she was supposed to be on?
Because I couldn't take it orally,
Okay, gotcha.
because of my gut, everything had to come through the drip.
Okay.
So I'm on a non-synthetic type of hormone for thyroid, and it doesn't come in the drip.
Oh, interesting.
And so I had to go back to the synthetic form that comes in a drip because I had everything was coming through an IV.
Okay.
which the synthetic version is was less effective for her. It did
They had to give her more.
improve.
They had to.
Increase.
There was a learning curve to try and get her, but she did respond, and she responded quickly.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was.
It was a learning experience for the doctors because I mean this was all a learning curve, and then you don't want to be in the middle of a learning curve with health professionals, but that's the way it is.
It's a learning hospital, evidently.
It's a learning
because they have
hospital.
all those.
But when you have people who sit there and say, "Oh, well, that's really not that important," and then all of a sudden, after they actually listen and give you the correct medication and dosage, then oh, she's improving. I wonder. Well, that's interesting. You know, and you just sit there and you're just like, you know, you want to smack your head like a V8 moment and just like. Oh, Jesus. And that's all I can say is just, oh, Jesus. Okay, well, thank you. And we move on. And it's just you plodding.
Yeah.
You're plodding along. And it's like you're in the muddiest. You're fighting. You're walking through mud. You're duking shadows. And you're, you know, and... You know, I drew a picture of this fight like it's a bar fight. Yeah. And you've got 5 guys on the one guy. And the 5 guys are trying to the 4 guys are trying to distract so the one guy can hit you and have his turn. And then somebody else distract you. And then they all take their turns in hitting you. Mm-hmm. And God never ever said they're going to fight fair.
They don't fight.
But he just said, I'll pass on my victory. I've already been through the worst of it, and I'll pass on that victory to you. Mm-hmm. And I'll be there with you to the fight. I'll even tell you when to duck. I'll tell you when. I will tell you when the hits are coming. I will tell you before the hits are coming. Mm-hmm. I will tell you this. I will tell you that. I am the word that never fails. Mm-hmm. I am the eye that sees everything. He knew where every clot was.
That's right.
He knew the end of this fight. Mm-hmm. Before we even entered the hospital.
That's right. That's so
and the thing is that, okay, if you know your God, if you understand, because there is a dynamic, there is really a dynamic to the word. And if you have a really superficial understanding and a relationship with the one who made you, mm-hmm. you're not going to understand when things go wrong, how to go through it. And she and I have the benefit of understanding, well, okay, the doctors have said, you might not live. But I know the one who made me. I know the one who made her. And he told me some things that supersede what the doctor says. Mm-hmm. And what the doctor sees is not what he sees. They know 5% of the situation. God knows 100% of the situation. Mm-hmm. And his word applies to every situation.
Right.
So knowing that, I'm not letting go.
Right.
And I was so bound and determined. And one thing my wife will tell you is if I am the most stubborn, she's stubborn. When she gets on something, she'll get on it. But when I get on it and I'm locked on, it's over. And I was like, I don't care if they come in and tell me my wife is dead. Great. Get out of the room. Leave me with the corpse. I'll take care of it.
Oh, praise God. Imagine. Wow. That must have been
that was the picture that I had was if I am, I'll call Pastor Ben. Get down here. We're going to the morgue.
Praise God. All right.
I was fully prepared for that.
Right.
And gladly it didn't work out to be that way. But I was like, I'm going to believe beyond the potential of the grave.
That's right. You got to.
If she gets to heaven now, if God sends, and he's done this in the past where he has sent an angel and he has told ministers, do not raise them from the dead. Don't. That's what God would have to do.
Right.
And God has raised people up.
Yes.
We know people who have done that. We know them. And we're blessed to have that base behind us. But I mean, it was just that way. And so when the days that we're going in right now, it's the most important thing that people can know is get it settled that either God is for you or he's, and the thing is that he said in his word, he said that he would never leave us. He would never forsake us. He would stick us closer than the brother, than the spouse I sleep with.
Right.
He would be there. He would never leave me. He would walk with me through the fire. He would navigate me through everything. He would tell me the only time that you're going to navigate somebody is when you want to get through it. Right. So he's not with me to just go and be a silent observer and laugh at me. That's not our God.
No.
He's there to get me through it because it's for his glory. It's for his name's sake. How many times does he say, it's for my name's sake? It is for
his glory.
And you will know I am God.
That's right.
And he said that over and over and over. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and everybody is going to be shocked and awed. And my God, because I don't care how bad they say it is.
Right.
She's going to get through this. And if I have to drag her butt.
That's right.